Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Trek, where I'll be talking about and reviewing an episode of the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, or Enterprise. Today, I'm looking at Soldiers of the Empire from Deep Space Nine's 5th season, or as I like to call it, that time it wasn't a good day to die. This episode was requested by Stephen St. Clair. Thank you for the suggestion, and I will do my best, but I have a feeling I'm going to have no idea what's going on. But let's get going. We begin the episode with Bashir helping a Klingon, and I recognise that voice. He's that dude from Far Beyond the Stars. What was his name? Martok? Anyway, he's real cranky that Bashir suggested he get his eye replaced. And then a call comes through, so he leaves.
Doctor, thank you.
If you really want to thank me, don't walk in here dripping blood anymore. It takes days to get it out of the carpet.
Nog and Worf's floating head are trying to fix a weapons problem. Nog's had enough when Martok shows up to cancel his date with Worf. Nog doesn't want to stick around, thanks, and Martok explains to Worf that a Klingon ship has gone missing along the Cardassian border, and he gets to command a ship to go look for it. Very exciting, and more so because he invites Worf along for a road trip. And into the credits we go. Sisko agrees to let Worf go, but wants to know why he wants to go, and he explains Martok saved his life when he was held captive and forced to fight other prisoners. And hold up, is that an actual episode? Because Worf in a Tunkatse type situation sounds awesome.
He had given me his warrior's heart.
Cool story, Worf. Now off you go and play nice with the other Klingons. Kira tells O'Brien, Bashir, and Dax that they'll be picking up the slack in Worf's absence, but then Dax immediately skips out on her duties by announcing to Worf she's coming with him. Gee, thanks. Dax and this lady Tavana bond, but she doesn't like the look of Worf, and he's not impressed by how shitty the ship is. Oh hey Martok! This guy clutches his pearls when Martok says he wants to avoid a fight, but Worf tells him off and they zoom away. But how about a song for the road?
Oi, poop back poo.
Sing, bitch! At dinner, Dax kicks some dude out of his seat before announcing she's bought booze, while Martok complains about the shit crew he's been lumbered with, so Worf suggests they go win a battle to cheer everyone up. The wine has cheered them up a bit, but Dax has to outsass this guy Leskett, and I was listening to this guy Cornan, wondering why I knew his voice but not his face, and turns out he was in Enterprise as one of the main Xindi dudes. They all get called away because they've come across an enemy ship, but Martok says to leave them be, which even Worf questions, but shut up and do as you're told. Dax tells Worf they should have blasted the ship and warns him that the crew are on the verge of mutiny, so he takes that info to Martok, who says he doesn't want a bunch of Jem'Hadar ships on his ass, thank you very much. Drunk off his tits, Ortekan goes on a rant about the Jem'Hadar and how much better they are than them, and while Dax tells him to shut up, Cornan flies across the table and starts beating the crap into him, so Dax shoots him. Dax has a go at Worf for defending Martok, even though he's letting the crew fall apart. And how long have they been on this ship? It seems like they've only just left Deep Space Nine. They get a distress call from the ship they've been looking for, but Martok thinks it's weird that the Jem'Hadar would leave survivors, and thinks it's a trap, and he gives me very much Dustin Hoffman in Hook vibes. They find the ship, but Martok doesn't want to retrieve it, seeing as it's technically across the Cardassian border, a decision Worf challenges. So Martok flips his absolute shit and then immediately leaves Worf in charge, which seems counterproductive to his plan. Dax and Worf decide he should challenge Martok to gain command of the ship.
But if the general will not step aside, I will have to kill him.
And the crew seems to agree, so after a brief standoff, Worf gets into a fight with Martok. They knife at each other for a bit, but this is clearly an elaborate plan to make Martok look like a hero again, right? Well, it better be, because Worf gets stabbed in the guts, and the crew start chanting. But a Jem'Hadar ship is on the way, so time for another sing-song maybe? Oh wait, they're suddenly back at Deep Space Nine, and I guess the mission was a success. Good job everyone! Martok thanks Worf for his actions aboard the ship, and gives him a badge to welcome him into his house. Not gonna lie, I was dreading this one. I generally dread any DS9 request because I worry I'm gonna miss the point, because I've not watched past the first season, and I know that storylines run through the whole show, so it's not really one you can just dip in and out of. Having said that, this one worked pretty well as a sort of standalone story, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, the Klingons aren't my fave, but Worf is fun and I liked Martok. He seemed more multi-dimensional than your run-of-the-mill Klingon. Although I do feel sorry for the actor having to film with one of his eyes completely obstructed. I bet LeVar Burton felt his pain though. This was a good little episode looking at the state of a Klingon ship and its crew and the effects of being bested in battle time and again. And I liked how Martok handled the mission, subverting the expectations of Klingon behaviour by not charging into battle like idiots and getting their asses kicked. It was a little weird having Dax come along too and seeing her be all Klingon-y, but I'm not mad at it, and I liked her little friendship with T'Vana. I think the main issue with the episode was the timing. We get one personal log from Worf near the end, but there's no sense of how long they've been going and how long they've been stuck on the ship with tensions rising, because it felt like things kicked off within 5 minutes of leaving DS9, and then before you know it, they're back, which took away from the growth of the characters. So a little bit more of an idea of the length of the mission would have really helped elevate the story and the character growth we see. Otherwise, it's a solid episode, and I enjoyed it. So there you have it. That was Soldiers of the Empire. If there's an episode of Star Trek you'd like me to cover, pop it down in the comments below or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot, or consider subscribing if you want to be assimilated into my channel. Alternatively, feel free to check out my other YouTube channels. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and live long and prosper.